Hello, friends, and welcome to 10 Points Under, where we are now introducing the new figure, Macru Essenwine. This is Big of Bullfrog slash Taylor slash Tay slash whatever. You can call me whatever, it's fine. And joining me today is one of my good friends who I have not been able to record with for a while or see for a while, who I miss dearly, and I get to reunite with through virtual space and all that great stuff. It's Scaperedude. Welcome, Scaperedude. Good to have you on.
Hey, thank you so much, whatever. It's a pleasure to be back on with you, back on the show. I'm actually quite excited just because this looks like a great matchup we're going to be going over today. Definitely a lot of interesting potential going on. But, as you mentioned, it's been a little bit. So I'm happy to be here, happy to watch some Scape and commentate with you today.
Yeah, same. This will be a good one. I'm excited for it. This will be a lot of fun. We definitely won't just be roasting Sir Heroscape the whole time, and
Absolutely.
This will be a good one. And I think it's what a fun event to be pulling from as well. Catch my segue there because so this is from the online live Spring Showdown. Spring Showdown is what they called it. So it was a live event that they did on online Heroscape. They did through the Discord. It was a good time. You get to play games. Well, I mean, I guess you always play games real time, but you've actually got all the people there in the server. There, you can talk to each other. You can watch each other's games. It's a lot of fun. And for this Spring Showdown, they had a really cool format going on. And I mean, as always, they did a good job putting stuff together. So just to kind of lead into that a little bit, we've got on the top Sir Heroscape, who I mentioned before, who we will not be roasting this whole time. He's playing, I would call the Army of Narcissism, and he's playing basically. He's got Zundar up here. These are what, fairly newish kind of sort of figures, depending on how closely you follow SOV. I think they were made real, or I guess official, last year, summer of last year, I think it was. But the designs have been around longer than that, so if you've been following Sir Heroscape stuff, you might have known about them from before then. But you've got Zundar back here, and he commands these shadows, kind of Kurok-esque. There are definite differences, but Kurok is the easiest way to think of it for sure. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shadow fiends. That they fly around, they do stuff. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shadow hounds, who run around and do stuff, and you've got the one shadow binder that slithers around and does stuff. And then down here we've got Ulysses, who's another cool Heroscaper. I'm a big Ulysses fan. He's a cool guy. He's got an army of 2 squads of rats, Kayamanawa, 4 red wormlings, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 black wormlings, as well as Macro Essenwine. And the reason why you see kind of these armies for this event is going off of basically their format rules. The big format rule for this one was that you can't have more than 9 of any common figure in your army. So that makes it good for, an army where you've got one guy who's controlling a bunch of common heroes, because then you can have a lot of common heroes, and you're Sir Heroscape still isn't even close to the 9 limit. And then down here you could also do just a lot of good things still. Kaimon's always good, and you've got the 2 squads of rats, which are, good. Even without Raelin, even without tons of rats, 2 squads is still just good. And you can also use the wormlings, which, again, with the common heroes, you're not really pushing that limit super hard. And then there was also a short ban list: Raelin, Major Q9, Marro Warriors, Incediborgs, Nilf, Quahon, those big ones. But yeah, it's an interesting format. It was a cool format. I think there were a lot of cool armies there.
No, for sure. And I think the interesting thing with it is, as well, is, regardless of a ban list that's going on, you can always find other figures similar to Marro Warriors or similar to a Nilfheim.
Mm-hmm.
However, because they're kind of the point of the spear, so to say, because they have been removed from the tournament format, and because we are not seeing just these massive horde armies, I think it really opened it up for some interesting army builds that we don't always see in the tournament scene.
Yeah, I definitely agree. You've got Kaimon, for example, is kind of like a mini Nilf. No flying, but you still got the special attack of 4. He's also got a long range attack, so it's not a straight up comparison. But he's he does a lot of similar things to Nilf. Um, but does it in a little bit more balanced of a format, does it without totally destroying this army that Sir Heroscape brought. And so yeah, I like the restriction.
No, for sure. And so it'll be interesting to see how this plays out without some of those top tier units, involved in the game or involved in these particular armies.
Mhm.
Get to see some of the slightly yet less used units shine a little bit more.
Yeah, like Death Reavers, it's good that they've got a time to
Exactly. You never see Death Reavers.
Not-
I've just been waiting to see another game where Death Reavers were played.
I know, right? Just let them take the spotlight. They need it.
For real. Jeez.
But yeah, with that, we'll go ahead and hop into this game. Let's see, Scaperedude, I don't know if you've got any thoughts going in. Like, do you have any expectations for how these armies perform, or?
So to be honest, I don't know if I have an army that I feel like has the clear advantage here yet. Obviously, a lot of the shadows have some pretty beefy defense. They have some good stats and abilities that play off of each other well. But also, for example, in the case of the Shadow Fiends, so their swoop ability, what's it called? The Shadow Swoop, that one only affects squad figures, meaning that one of their main special abilities will literally only affect the rats. So going into, I think that's one thing that could play against Sir Heroscape's army here. And the other thing that gets a little bit tricky is that the shadows are commons, meaning that those red wormlings are going to love that.
Mm-hmm.
And the black wormlings really don't care that you have 4 defense as a shadow. They're just going to melt you anyways. So I'd like the stats that Sir Heroscape has, but ability-wise and technicality-wise, I think Ulysses' army has a pretty good grip on it here.
Yeah, I think I would agree there. I think though, kind of where it plays into it is, so you've got like Death Reavers, right? Usually you send them out to screen stuff, but they're gonna do not much against the shadows other than like just occupy space, because all the shadows have phantom walk or stealth flying or something like that, so they're not too
True.
worried about the Death Reavers. And then the other interesting thing, so you brought up the wormlings. I think the wormlings play really well into the shadows, like you, but I think the one edge that the shadows have is the fact that they actually have an activation advantage, which isn't something that they usually have. They're usually got 3 activations, so they're either like meeting or under the activations that other figures are getting. But in this case, if you've got 3 into 2, then you've got a pretty good advantage going in there, which is nice.
No, I very much agree. So we've already got 1 rat off of the field. And if you notice right here on kind of this 2 plateau and then going up onto the 3 rock, we've already got a nice little pod going on with the shadows. So I'm sure Sir Heroscape is happy about how the setup is going currently.
Oh yeah, he's got a nice little grouping going up here. We're probably gonna start a band.
Probably, I think you're right. Punk rock? No.
I could see it. I want to see that. Yeah, one thing that so with that rat dying earlier, one thing to point out is, again, just for people who don't know tons about this shadow army, like you mentioned, they do get stronger when they're closer to each other. They get bonuses from each other, be it like the hounds get plus attack and plus move. The shadow fiends get a bonus to their D20 roll when they're using shadow swoop. So like you had the 12 rolled for shadow swoop on that Death Reaver, which the cutoff is 13 or higher, but you get a +1 for each shadow adjacent to it, and so it got the boost, which was pretty nice for Sir Heroscape. A good way to open the game for him, I'm sure.
Definitely one interesting thing. So you'll notice that there's already a rat sitting there on the, I believe it's the unique attack +1, which in some ways could definitely come into play because we've got, Kim Nawa, we've got a whole bunch of wormlings, we've got Marku, so we've got figures that can benefit from it. One of the interesting things, though, is that the red wormlings are going to be using a special attack, most likely, as well as the black wormling. So in certain situations, for example, if they have height, definitely it could be a nice boost, but also not as effective as I would say with other unique units.
Right, yeah, exactly. I Like, honestly, I don't love the play to go for a unique attack, but also, I think the question kind of becomes, what else are you going to do with your Death Reavers
Yeah,
in this game?
exactly. They're getting chewed through pretty well, and I mean he's got a rat back in the start zone already to potentially lock down Zundar, which is great. But the rats currently are not going to do a ton to lock up these shadows with stealth flying and phantom walk and everything that you've mentioned.
Yeah, exactly.
So at least it's something.
And who knows? Maybe if he gets the chance to shoot Zundar with 6 dice with Gaimon, then that's not a bad situation.
Exactly. And the thing is even though Zundar, he does have 6 life, which is pretty good. I mean, we're looking at 2 defense, so that could be pretty squishy to a 6 attack.
Oh yeah. All right, so nice eventful first round there. Got the first shadow kill.
One other thing to keep in mind as well is that a lot of these shadows, although they're quite movable, they don't necessarily have great range going on with them. And with Zundar locked up in the back, he can only use them as long as they're within 8 spaces of Zundar, or at least to activate with them. And so that's only giving them up until kind of this halfway point. And so even if Cayman is willing just to sit back, he has right there. He has a line of relative safety. Not completely, because they could still rush him and potentially jump out, similar to with the Marro Hive. But as long as he stays outside of that line, he's a little bit safer than if he goes inside of it.
Yeah, exactly. And in fact, honestly, I'd probably, Kaimon right here can have a fiend or something come up here and attack down on him. I'd probably, or you've got the little grabber that can pull him down as well. So I feel like that's even a little bit risky. I probably would have sat back just a little bit farther and been like, yeah, I'll plink you one at a time. That's fine with me. I'm going to make you uncomfortable. I'm going to make you move.
Yeah, no, for sure. And the thing is Zundar's a little bit locked down back there. And with that many shadows in the middle, it's not like Cayman's going to be able to rush in and start shooting at Zundar right now anyways.
Right.
So I agree. I think that just sitting back in safety and just shooting at the shadows and making them freak out, I think that would be a good move. Or it would have been. He's locked down now, so we'll see what comes from it.
He'll just walk away, man. Just walk away.
That's right.
You see Sir Heroscape passing the attack there, which 3v4, right? So guess that's understandable with the counter-strike possibility. Doesn't want to lose the bonus attack for his hound.
Yeah, doesn't want to lose the bonus attack. And here's the thing. He really, although he does have a decent amount of shadows, it's really not that many. So it would be quite painful to lose 35 points of your army to a counter strike like that.
Yeah, that would really suck. And there's 3 wounds on Kaimon right there, so not bad. Honestly, I don't even know if you should be attacking these 2 because they're outside of that range that you mentioned, which was right there. Okay, looks like his second went for the binder. But let's see. Good news is there no more hounds close by to hit him with. Bad news, he can only get 1 good attack in.
Very true. Very true. I don't see it listed on the chat menu right now. Do you know if the order markers were all placed on Cayman, or did we have it mixed up this round?
Well, that's a good question. I don't remember.
Is there support coming in?
Yeah, I wasn't even paying that close of attention. I certainly hope that there's... Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sir Heroscape. Oh, dang it, he caught it.
Darn.
I think... Man, Wait, did he?
Nah, man.
He must have got it.
Sneaky.
Yeah. He was just psyching us out. Playing mind games with the audience. That Sir Heroscape.
Making sure we were paying attention. Because we know that was what was going through his mind right there. He was like, you know what? I know that Biga and Scaperedude are going to review this video afterwards. So I'm purposely going to move this figure right here just to see if they notice.
Just to see if they notice. Just to see if
Guess what, Sir H? We did.
We're on to
Boom.
you.
Drop the mic.
All right, so that's a dead Kaimon, but we do have the blacks coming in. Okay.
At this point, now that Cayman is gone, I feel like Cayman presented by far the largest threat potentially to Cayman, or Cayman presented the largest threat to Zundar.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'd be a good idea for Zundar to move at this point. Give the shadows a little bit more flexibility.
Yeah, because he's going to need that eventually, right? He needs to be able to move beyond that space, especially when playing into a ranged army. And he just lost 2 more Shadow Fiends, and yeah, so he could move up a bit. He could even, like, I don't know. I guess he's got options. Well, and the other thing about Zundar is he can move.
There we go. There's
as
the
well
move.
as take turn or not take turns. He can move and actually, yeah, take turns. Activate shadows. So like
Yeah,
Karak
so
has
he
to
doesn't
stay
take a
still.
turn, but he can move just as he mentioned.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure he also has the choice of just attacking with Zundar, of just taking that turn. And if he kills that Death Reaver with his special attack, then he does get to replace it with a shadow. So that's pretty nice as well.
You know, as nice as it is that he still has that binder up there just kind of going to town, the trick is that binder, I'm sure, would love some more company. He's got the shadow pretty close, but the binder would work a lot better if he had more friends right there with him.
Oh, yeah. And I think that's one of the tough parts of this army is you really want to keep your shadows together. So I'll be honest, when I was playing it, because I was, back when I was testing it, I found that, let's see, Sir H has 11 shadows, which is okay, but I found going full shadows was just too difficult because, you're trying to keep them all together. It's fun for sure, and I'm not like, dissing Sir Heroscape. I mean, I'll be roasting. I'm not roasting Sir Heroscape today, so I'm not trying to roast him here. This was just something that I found with my own testing, was going full shadows. I felt was a little counterproductive. Like, you wanted a certain amount. There's definitely a minimal amount, but I would find that dropping like 3 of these shadows for some sort of ranged option to just kind of force the issue, to force your opponent to like kind of come to one spot so that your shadows could operate together better, was more effective for me. Like, and so like for this army, that might be like dropping 3 of Shadow Fiend / Hounds and throwing in Krav Maga, for example.
Well, no, for sure. And I mean, if you're throwing in a unit as great as the Krav Maga anyways, I mean, definitely just a good unit to add. I think the point that makes that difficult, especially when army planning, is Zundar. He has 150 points for 3 attack and 2 defense. In order to effectively run shadows at all, it's a pretty high, it's a pretty high cost to jump in on that army, to commit to it. And so at that point, it's almost painful not to follow through with it, even if, Krav would run better with the army anyways. So at that point, you might even just ask the question then, why am I running the shadows when I could just run Krav or Nilfheim and Raelin and Rats, and why not throw Q9 in there?
Well,
obviously not this
Raelin,
tournament,
Rats,
because
Raelin, Nilf, and Q9 are all banned. See, that's the
exactly. All right, so we're knocking off some wormlings here pretty quickly, actually.
Yeah, they don't like to defend, apparently. Let's see, where's that new line? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so this fiend is still within the line. As is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nope, that hound is not within the line.
All right, Sir Heroscape, we're watching you.
Yep. Wormlings doing nothing. That's how you like your wormlings to go. 6. I really don't like engaging that hound right there, I'll be honest. Alright, and he moves, and now he can't activate that hound. Does take a leaving engagement, but he's not too worried about that, I'm sure. And with 6 life, you could take leaving engagement attacks.
One of the interesting things here is, oh yeah, it's true. With 6, you can afford a leaving engagement from a rat. It's not line of sight or clear line of sight that Zundar needs. It's simply within 8 spaces.
Mm-hmm.
So even though you've got a ruin there, that root, that hound down by the wormlings, he can activate.
Yeah. Which honestly kind of like, well, not kind of, it really increases the strength of the Shadow army in that aspect.
Oh, absolutely.
Where you can like, where with Kurok you can't move him before activating, and you've got to like keep him within clear sight of your figures that you activate. Zundar, you can like totally just tuck him in the nook of this ruin and be activating shadows out here, and you're like totally safe back here. And if you do get like engaged, you can just be like, nope, run away, fill that in with shadows or something like that. So he's a pretty strong commander figure. Weak defensively, as we mentioned, but he's got a lot of defensive options with being able to move and with being able to hide.
Absolutely. I mean, when you can move 3 other figures on your turn, in addition to yourself, it definitely provides him a lot of flexibility. Plus, he has the life to take some leaving engagements if he needs it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we are very quickly chopping off the rest of the black wormlings. What is it? Do we have 1 left on the field? And we've got shadows moving into the start zone. You know, I'll say I feel like for a little bit mid-game when Cayman went down that quickly, and there had been, 3 shadows killed, I thought it was looking decently grim for Sir Heroscape for a little bit to get momentum back, but he definitely seems to be carrying it so far, because we have an untouched, 1 wound Zundar from the rat, and we've got shadows descending on the wormlings quite quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Sir Heroscape's hitting him pretty hard. Which, yeah, I agree. I think it was looking kind of grim. I think, I don't know, if there was just a little bit more playing to that range advantage that Ulysses had. Of
I agree.
Using the wormlings a little bit more conservatively, especially because you don't care about high ground, so you can just like stay back down on level 1 and be attacking just fine. I think there'd be a little bit more. I think this wormling play was kind of a desperation move to try to catch Zundar and just melt Zundar, but that's not going to happen well enough. I think if you just stay back, kind of hide behind, the few Death Reavers that you have to try to slow them down.
For sure, and we've got a very much just a power move at this point. Some things you'll notice. We've got Zundar just sitting up there on the 4 height. I don't believe he's quite within range of getting to Kelda in 1 move, but in the situation where some things were to go seriously wrong, I mean, we've got Kelda right there, and the shadows are just they're very much offensively moving in for the kill at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, we still have 2 shadows just sitting unmoved back in the start zone.
Right, yeah. Well, and that's part of why I'm like, just drop those shadows and put in something else, and you're fine. Because if you got too many shadows, you just can't move them. But again, that's just army construction, and I know Sir Heroscape and I are polar opposites in many things, army construction being one of them.
Yeah, the way that he's finishing this game off right now is a very Sir Heroscape-esque fashion.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Offensive, just hit hard, move in, keep your opponent unstable, and clean up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is the part where Sir Heroscape is like, wait, no, you think I wanted to play Heroscape today? No, man. Get out of here.
That's right. Yeah, and the skulls have just kept coming, and the defense dice have not. So when that happens, this is what you get.
Well, and there you go. I mean, like that's the stats that you were talking about earlier, right? Where the shadows have beefy stats on their own. They can just run in, hit stuff, and even like 3 attack versus 3 defense. It's going to be consistent enough, especially when you roll 3 skulls, that you'll be dropping stuff. Man, 1 wormling left.
Hey, definitely, really fast. I might just be spacing something here.
Mm-hmm.
So on Sir Heroscape's last turn, where he rolled the 4 on the d20 and then he rolled the 3 skulls,
mm-hmm.
I think he was moving a fiend there.
Mm-hmm.
Is he doing the shadow swoop on the wormling?
No, he did it on this.
It was on the rat. Okay, perfect. Looks like I just need to follow a bit more closely.
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, look at this. Dropping down. I don't think you really need to drop down off the height. I mean, you can if you're feeling cool, but there's really no need to, and Marco can still pack a punch if he wants to. So I would probably just stay there.
Yeah, exactly.
There, whatever.
Yeah, Macro's pretty scary like that, and like you don't need. You're already reaching the end of the board. You don't need to take that risk at all. Oh, hey, look, Scatter came into the game. Oh wait, I guess it did earlier too. Ulysses, I think you're trying to tie down Zundar here, but he's too high. Your rat's not tall enough to tie him down right there.
Tragic.
I'm sorry. Okay, maybe he caught it. Good, he heard me. I'm glad.
Look at you keeping this game on track.
You know it. Like, I mean, if I weren't recording games and then speaking to people from the future, who knows how these games would be going?
I know, seriously, the rule infractions that would take place, horrible.
Crazy.
Horrible. You are pretty much single-handedly saving online Heroscape.
You know it. You know it. I mean, like, I don't like to brag about it too much, but, why deny the truth?
Exactly. Look at that. Another rat just drops.
Wait, why is he taking the glyph back?
Unless he's got order markers loaded up. There we go. There's Macro.
Okay, there we go. Okay, so this could end right now.
Oh, well, 5 attack. But... yeah, roll all 5 skulls and then roll no shields.
You got it. Hey, Sir Heroscape's been doing that to you all game. Now give him a taste of his own medicine.
Punch him. Come on, Macro. Oh, nope. Nope, not quite.
All right, but still, I mean, that is a half-life Zundar. If Ulysses is able to keep the unique attack glyph, then that could be a dead Zundar next turn.
True. Very true.
So it'll be interesting. I mean, yeah,
the one trick could totally
solo this army.
Oh no, absolutely. The Marco has height there, so that really was his prime chance to strike, because I think we'll either see Zundar disengage and go jump up on the other side with the rat, or he'll just come up onto level ground again with Marco.
Oh, this is actually level ground already.
Is that 4 as well right there? Oh,
yeah, it's a 3 hex.
Yep, it is.
Oh, he's gonna hide. And here we see that little hiding trick that we mentioned. I don't know if I like hiding, actually. Okay, so he's gonna like force Marco to take a low ground attack. Sure. Okay.
I feel like, let's see.
I mean, I probably would have just stayed there and bombarded him with hounds from low ground. Maybe that's too risky. I don't know. It's weird when I'm saying like, hey, maybe I'd be riskier than Sir Heroscape. That's kind of an odd feeling, but.
One thing to consider is Zundar does have only 2 life left.
Yeah, partially because he took that disengagement attack, though.
Yeah, because he took the disengagement, and so one good hit from Marco, even striking up from height, because he does have the glyph, could put him in trouble. And 6 life is still a good amount to chop through, even if you do have 1 defense.
Right. Unless you've got Shadowhounds, obviously.
Unless you've got Shadowhounds. Exactly, my bad.
You just got to work on your timing a little bit there. But yeah, good game.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Maybe. I don't know. These Death Reavers might go for it. No, there we go.
All right. Called it in. Yeah, interesting. I think, post-game thoughts, I think we could have had a much more close game all the way to the end if Ulysses had played a little bit more conservatively with Killometer earlier on, as well as the Wormlings. I think after Killometer just got caught and knocked out of the game quickly, there were a few kind of desperate gambits with some of the Wormlings that just did not pay off the way they needed to. And it just kind of landslided from there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just like you said, if you're using, instead of that special attack, because I know that special attack is what everybody wants to use, right? Because they're like, I want to kill 2 figures a turn. Sounds great. But when he used that, that was when he moved into, I think it was right here, right? Where he could even have figures get height advantage on him? Or was he a little bit further back in the binder pulled him?
No, I think he was right there.
But yeah, so he comes in and he starts taking shots, and one went through, so that was fine. But then the shadows just swarmed him, and shadows are really good at killing heroes, especially with the hounds. You've got the fiends for the squads, and that's fine. They're okay at it. But the heroes, they really, really like to go after heroes. And so, obviously, Quahon just falls pretty quickly there. Now, if you're using like your 7 range and you're sitting back here, and you're just taking shots, you've got the attack glyph and you're taking attacks of 5, you'll be picking off hounds consistently enough, I think. And that's kind of what you really want to do, because the army does have 2 weaknesses. One that we saw Ulysses go for was trying to tie down Zundar / get wounds on Zundar so that you could kill him, and then the shadows just kind of fall apart at that point. The other weakness, though, is the fact that especially against range, if you're just picking off shadows, then they've got a very finite number to them, and Zundar can bring them back. He's actually pretty decent at bringing them back, but you, like, as a shadow player, you just don't want to be in that place in the first place.
Exactly, yeah. If you're being pushed to having to bring back hounds to save the game, obviously you're in trouble. You're probably not in super great control of the game, the momentum of it.
Mm-hmm.
At which point, if you're pushing Sir Heroscape into that situation, then is a great opportunity to maybe push a little bit with Kemonowa, push a little bit with your wormlings. But the fact that he was just getting pushed against really, really came out and kind of bit him in the long run.
Yeah. And so I think like if I'm playing this a little bit differently, that's probably the big thing that I focus on, is just utilizing that 7 range. Honestly, I maybe even don't go in with Death Reavers. I know he wanted to tie up Zundar and go for that, but I think I probably even just like keep my Death Reavers more conservatively, maybe like right here-ish, to just kind of gum things up as the shadows try to come in, because again, they're not going to be like tying things down because of Phantom Walk. But if you've got them all in one spot, then it makes it harder for the shadows to get attacks in on your wormlings or on Kaimonawa when they're coming into the start zone, and so that can be another play there. But I mean, in the end, though, I think a lot of it is just good play from Sir Heroscape. Ulysses played well. They were both playing well. I think a lot of it did come down to like that early kill on Quahon, and then having those stats going against the wormlings.
Yeah, I agree. I do think I still stand by what I was saying earlier, where I think technical wise and ability wise, I feel like a lot of the abilities were in favor of Ulysses, but then some unfortunate dice rolls and the placement with Cayman and just the superior stats of the shadows just ended up being able to be consistent enough to carry Sir Heroscape through to the end.
Mm-hmm. Yep, good stats are good, turns out.
Crazy. Who would have guessed?
It's wild. It's wild, this game. But yeah, I enjoyed that one though. That was a fun one. Sir Heroscape pulled off the win. Ulysses not coming off with the win, but still a great guy who I admire, and so he's got that going for him. I don't know. I guess my admiration really isn't much to speak for. So maybe actually that made it worse for him. I don't know.
No, good stuff. We got introduced to Macru Essenwine today, so that's a plus. Got to see some good armies play, and yeah, this was good. This was good. Good to talk to you again.
Yeah, you as well, man. It's good to have you on. You need to come on more often.
All right, I will. I'll
Which
come
I guess
again.
means that I need to stop working so that you can have time to come on more.
Yeah, come on, Taylor. Quit your job. Just sit at home and just record Heroscape videos just constantly.
There you go.
That's what
there
you
you
go. That is your future.
Yeah. I can make a living off that.
Exactly.
I can make a living off of living off my parents. That'll be easy.
Hey, it's what all the cool kids are doing these days, I hear.
That's true. I need to get with it.
Good stuff.
But yeah, let's see. Before we sign off, do you have anything that you would like to say, do, share, stuff?
Yeah, I mean, what is it? It is 2021.
Mm-hmm.
We have not had Heroscape in print or in stores since 2010. And
Mm-hmm.
here we are, a bunch of weirdos with our hobbies and piles of plastic miniatures 11 years later, and we're still scaping. Let's stick with it. This is a great community. We have some great online Heroscape events that go on. So definitely, if you haven't tested it out yet, definitely go try out one of these events. Who knows? You might have Taylor and I come and pick apart your performance. It's pretty fun. But no, seriously, Heroscape is awesome. Keep playing, stay involved in the community, and thanks for having me on today.
Yeah, for sure. I'm glad you came on, and I think that's a good message. It's a good community. I mean, like, Heroscape still has like the best game community ever, probably. Um,
Yep,
and partially, partially because it's a dead game, and so we don't have like new people coming in and just being like, oh, I'm just gonna come win this game that's dead. There's not really prestige in it, or stakes really. So I think that's part of it. But I mean, like even before Heroscape died, um, it had the best community. Still has the best community. It's a great place to be. So I'm a big fan. And speaking of joining events, if you're watching this video, you just barely missed the signups for the last Heroscape event. If I'm counting when this video will go up correctly, then you have just barely missed the signups. So sorry. And keep your eyes out for the next one though. There's a lot going on all the time, and there's always just games being played casually. So that's always good as well. People are always looking for games. And like we said, lots of great people to play against.
absolutely. All right, good stuff. Scape on, everybody.
Yeah. Thank you, Clark, Scaperedude. Name.
Yeah, my secret identity. Jeez.
Sorry, my bad. Yeah, thank you so much for joining us today. And thank you, viewers, of course, for viewing. Everybody, remember what a glorious world it is that we live in. And this will be 10 points under and out.